I love that format too.
Really happy to hear that, because that's where originally there was a lot of conflict in that. Okay, it's a DAO. Okay, well, what's a DAO? Everybody supports and creates it. Okay, well, who codes it? That's where really the question begins, right? Where it's like, fuck yeah, we all want to build something together. And then we run into that issue that it's not decentralized until it's on the blockchain. And it's not just a smart contract, it's a decentralized application. But if it's just one decentralized application, it's not an ecosystem. And if it's not an ecosystem, there's very, very little user experience benefit, right? And evolution. And what we're here to do is to help individuals evolve. And so what we decided to do was to create a DAO framework that allowed individuals to BYOB, become their own bank. By doing this, we were able to create a brand new framework, a framework where the code is used in a way where it's not restricted to financial instruments only, but people can now become incubated into this system, and they can then get the opportunity to have their voice heard. And there will be a clearly defined roles map, so that way everybody can ascend through the ecosystem, and more importantly, become somebody that can propose an idea or vote on ideas. Yet more importantly, everybody, regardless of their position today, should be able to move upward in the ecosystem to the place where they can earn dividends, and then simply work out to stay in shape and continue to earn dividends. This is the way that we can make it the most beneficial for everybody, and yet create a unique ecosystem or a DAO framework that hasn't been used before. And this is why we kept saying, look, this is more than just a regular DAO. You have to see it as like everybody comes in with these ideas, but every idea, let's say every entrepreneur needs to hire a developer to make it happen. If you don't have a developer, you need to be a developer. And so that's what all of this comes down to. And so as we, I'm super happy he hopped on. As we continue to inspire people, and hopefully we prepare them with all the tools that they need to succeed. And to do this, the voting process that I kept coming up with was just one that could not be done in one session. So basically what we're saying is that before the DAO, or AKA the launch pad, AKA this whole thing that we're building, this organization that we're all part of, accepts a new business coming into it, there have to be 3 rounds of voting where the entire collective says yes to all of them. Otherwise, how do we really give this new entrepreneur a value of about $7,000 to $12,000 worth of code? Like, this is a real investment. Clint and I are putting together apps after apps after apps to be able to make it an ecosystem, not just a DApp, to make it a decentralized financial application. Does that kind of make sense?
Mm-hmm. I think that was a wonderful explanation.
Thanks, bro.
I think you digging deep into the other areas of like exactly what you're trying to explain and what you're trying to do. And I think you did a really good job explaining that.
Let's go. Take that monkey off my back. I'm glad I recorded it, bro.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty epic for sure.
And if you guys can kind of see it, Shawn, especially for you, because you're the man that we're speaking about today, should Tyler get here soon enough. But does that kind of give you a better idea how you're not just getting, let's say, this vote today to say, yeah, he's all in, let's give him everything we got? If I could finish the process, there are going to be 2 more steps. Number 1 is today you're going to share the idea, basically tell us your story. You're going to tell us a little bit more about what you wish that the DAO could do for you. And more importantly, it's how much money you would need to basically launch your vision into fruition. Like, if these things are available to you today, or maybe over the next few minutes, you'll kind of come up with a few answers to those. Today will end on a good note, because then that will lead us into session number 2. Session number 2 of voting will be next month. Let's say it's every month you'll have 1 session. So 1 month, 1 session for 3 sessions, a total of 3 months. And the idea is that we help you through this process by just coming onto our platform to gain an audience, to gain a following, to gain exposure, but more importantly, to talk to a few individuals who are working in different sectors of blockchain, share ideas, gain some knowledge, and more importantly, session number 2 will be focused on audience and community growth. So how fast does your idea grow from today when you pitch it to the point of next meeting? Right? Because at the next meeting, what's up, Tyler? Glad you made it.
Hey, dude.
Glad to see you, bro. I'm just going to finish this talk real quick. At the next meeting, right, let's say the second voting session, we have to see a number of how much growth you had from today in your quote unquote community Telegram or Discord, whatever you want to choose to do. And 30 days out, how much did you grow? And in 30 days, did you grow, let's say 100, 200 people? Like, we've been doing this for a while and we're growing slowly. Let's say 144, 147 people in our Telegram, right? It's not about the number. It's a steady growth. Now, this lets me have, an analytical perspective of what could we do to improve it, right? Because every single quote unquote business that we hope to basically bring up should have a few things, right? Like, if you're going to be the guy running it, A, you're going to have to hire a software company, or B, you become a software company. Mm-hmm. And if you don't become a software company, then you're liable to hiring a developer all the time. Think about it as it's at least $3,000 per decentralized application. So if you're not seeing it as, I got to find somebody I could trust, and I got to have liquidity that I can spend, or I got to give a percentage of ownership of the company. And so all of these things come into play, which is why I wanted to create this BYOB podcast, a system of voting where the first one, you share with us your story, your vision, how you plan to do it, what you want to get out of it. Boom. Next session, we talk about how much your growth was. And then the third session, we really talk a little bit more about how to put you in a position to, delegate the plan. And so the delegation of the plan means, do you have a team? What parts to the team are not there yet? Meaning, do you need basically marketing specialists? Do you need, web designs? Do you need accounting, bookkeeping, all these different things? I know you do a lot of those yourself as a business owner already, but that's when the DAO essentially opens its doors, because you've been voted in twice already, right? And so that third thing, the DAO is going to vote, okay, but he's got everything together. He knows what he's missing. Let's jump in and help him. And essentially what this does is it creates a way. By creating HealthBank DAO, we created a DAO, or an organization that has certain health standards, which allow you, the individual with an idea and a business proposition, to find the best quote unquote partners, employees, board members, and so on. And so if you can learn to develop relationships with these people, because obviously you've been voted in 3 times. First time it was the idea, second time it was the community, third time was the team or internal engagement. Well, the DAO should take care of the KYC process for you to be able to know that you could trust that person you're talking to. And then the DAO will also help you with the KYB process, which is know your business process, which is called our launchpad. And so essentially what we do is, by being a quote unquote HealthBank DAO member or hold a membership NFT, then you basically say you've gone through the process, or in this case, the 8-week challenge, to be able to achieve X or Y, or you went through the podcast. Either way, you're going to be doxxed. And once you're doxxed, then you get to go ahead and, get support. Once you get support, it's internal documentation that creates the team that you needed. Right? Because then you have everybody docs, you could talk to them on whatever you need to do with Zoom calls. And then now it's literally, we've created a system where everybody can know your business from the inside out. And all you have to do is figure out how to provide us, AKA the DAO, with a way of saying my business is sustainable. And we call it a business health score, which is what we can get into down the road. Because a business's health score is just as important as a personal health score. So if I don't want to, did you guys see Amazon today?
No, what happened?
Oh boy, I just caught that shit it just popped up. It was like 95% down today.
Ooh.
Now, I don't know if that was true, but like I said, I don't spend a lot of time on this thing. Let me go see it right now. Let me go see it. But Jeremy, does that kind of give you a better idea of what I was talking about with the voting? And same thing with you, Shawn?
With that, because that's like a beautiful introduction to anybody that's curious about it, and you could just send them everything you just said, and that will spark their interest instantly. I think you articulated it very well.
Woo! Now I'm off. You guys are on.
Oh,
All right. But let me take the reins here. First of all, thank you, Shawn. Good to actually see you. You made it here. Everybody here, I just want to say hi. Harley.
Time out. I'm sorry, Jeremy. I hate to interrupt, man. Is anybody else having audio difficulties with him?
Yes.
yes.
Can't hear him.
Jeremy, are you driving at the moment still?
Yeah.
Would it make it easier if we let Harley introduce it for a little bit while you're driving and because it cuts in and out?
Yes, that's perfect. Give me about 6 minutes.
You have absolutely nothing to worry about. Is that okay, Harley? We'll just say that we'll start the podcast here.
Definitely. Let me go ahead and start recording here.
Or can we just bullshit for 6 minutes and wait for Jeremy to get done?
We can bullshit.
What's up, Tyler? Talk to us, man. How's your day going?
Dude, it's nuts. All of a sudden we went from like 6 million to now we have like 8.2 million. And I've been like pumping out Randy's and it's like I have to sell it's going crazy. And so I've been like getting into like other avenues on like NFT spaces and like stayed up really late doing that. But I also had to make a whole new collection to add to our collection of the 1K mints because there's going to be the small ones for the poor people. So they're only going to be like $38 or whatever XTC is worth right now.
Okay.
So I had to do 100 of those and I'm about to mint those fuckers.
What a
One at
beautiful
a
start.
time. And then also 4 kids and also wife and food and all that stuff has also happens. So
Balance.
yeah.
How many
It's been
times a day
nuts.
do you say "om"?
Like that's how I get my kid to sleep. I just sit there and I'm like, oh, I do like throat singing at him and then he just goes, oh. I've had to do a different sound lately though. He's getting bored of it. So
We need to learn that one. Oh, I need to go ahead and learn how to play with my throat like that, dog. You got some skills.
it took definitely just like it's like a mixture of whispering but also talking deep, and then you just do it till your head vibrates.
I'm gonna have to ask Shawn. Do you know how to get that down? I think you said you got kids yourself, right?
No kids.
Okay, my
Solo
bad.
dolo.
My team.
I would have like so many giant like structures of like businesses going on right now at the same time if I had no kids. Like there would be like castles of workers. It would be crazy.
Well, Mr.
Take
T
up,
could
like-
become like Mr. Beast.
Man, almost there.
Shoot. What's up, Shawn? What do you think you want to get across to the public today while Jeremy's still on the drive over there? Maybe you can kind of plant some seeds in his brain.
Man, I like kind of like you said, kind of start with my story, kind of tell you my evolution in the business world, what I've done, what I plan to do, and kind of the next couple steps, to make that happen. So I think we can go over quite a few things.
Of course, man. And don't forget about your story, bro. I'm sorry, and I'm just talking about how we relate on the spine issues and the accident you had. So that really touched me. And I know my neighbors actually had motorcycle accidents and I had to rebuild both of them. And so it was really something where when you said it, I'm just like, ooh, I just can't help but cringe, it's a real, you pray the best for that person. Cause you're like, man, they're dope. They're on a bike. They're doing the thing. Fuck yeah, I want to be them. And then, ooh, I don't want to be them anymore. Ooh, that looks dangerous. I pray for them. How do I help them? What do we do? So that to me was one of the things when I heard your story, I was just like, wow, I need to know more about that process. I want to learn about the mindset as you were going through that, because that's really the process of alchemy, the pain.
Yeah, and I was fully charged with that energy going through the pain because due to the lower spine, literally just standing up was smashing my nerve root for about 8 months. So it was literally like getting a knife shoved into the spine, every time you got to get to the bathroom to go get something to eat, anything. So it was pure torture. But like you said, it was a much needed alchemical process for me to fully develop myself, to lose everything, clear everything, start from the bottom, and then utilize that torture, that pain, that force to not only build my foundation, but to elevate up. I mean, Honestly, I think most people should go through that process.
That's it. I think
because the whole thing is, it's, all these people who aren't grateful, or many attributes. It's like, they can build a castle on sand, but then, if you don't have that foundation, that sand can just start eroding and just collapse everything. So it's like, I'm grateful that, I lost my house, my job, my car, literally ability to walk. I was, 28, 27 years old, walking with a cane, elevated my soul and my spirit, astronomically, compared to the young mindset of, being ungrateful, just being that young, dumb mindset. It definitely elevated me for sure. And without that process, I most likely would have never became a business owner, because, most people getting into business, they do it, sidestepping, kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, kind of do carefully. Well, this situation actually threw me in there. Like, it wasn't a risk. It was a necessity. You know what I'm saying? It was like, it's going to work. It has to work. That's how it's going to be. And there's no other way, compared to some people who's, working a job and they'll put maybe half their effort into a business. It was pretty much all or nothing for me.
That was fucking powerful, bro. I heard that pain cost you to go ahead and find a direction that made you say, I'm never looking back.
Yes.
I think anybody else had that before? Because that was man. Harley, I'm going to talk about you falling off that cliff, bro. Should we?
Yeah, definitely.
Is that the moment for you as well? It sounds painful.
Yeah, that definitely was a moment for me as well.
You're right, Shawn.
That was right before my son was born, so it definitely changed the trajectory of my life and made me grow up and made me essentially ascend and start a new life, start a new timeline.
Man, I definitely think Tyler and I have been there one too many times. But how cool is that, right? That we could choose our timeline in the sense of, like, all it took was for us to slow down, and the only way to slow down is to be in pain, right?
Yeah, because you know what they say, gratefulness is a very, very strong frequency. So if you could barricade yourself, put yourself in gratefulness fully, without experiencing, traumatic pain, traumatic experience, the fact that when you get out of that, you can cultivate that feeling of gratefulness right there. So that literally elevates you just based on the memory of you not even being there anymore. It's like, I wake up every morning now just like, oh man, I don't feel like I'm getting shanked in the back, or the spine with the knife. So automatically I'm grateful. So that just raises the vibes right there. Instead of, somebody never going through experiences like that, they could wake up and just be like, not everybody, of course, but some people are really ungrateful because they really haven't lost everything, been through something and stuff like that. So I definitely try to cultivate gratefulness for sure. And I think that definitely just starts me off with a nice frequency and vibration.
That's daily. I'm sure that you do it every day, that you have some kind of meditation. Because
don't get me wrong now, we could all get in our head every other day and, kind of, lose that mode. But yeah, you just got to keep the main thing and keep rolling.
I gotta admit, bro, the routines you follow are something that I'm very curious about, and kind of how you take it. But obviously, I don't want to get away from the real subject of what we could use today for with Jeremy's time and the rest of this gentleman's time. Jeremy, did you make it over by any chance?
Just made it. I'm ready to roll when you guys are.
Boom. I hope you got a chance to know a little bit more about Shawn and his fire, because I've been waiting to let him loose.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Anybody got anything else before we get started though? Woo! It's all yours, Jeremy. Thank you.
Perfect. Okay, so let's get this thing rolling on our podcast. And just to let everybody know, this is a first time, almost a test, almost a beta, but just in general, we're getting it rolling. We're going to see this format that we're trying to do, and we're going to take it easy, and then we'll start getting a good structure going. All right, so we have, of course, Tyler, Johnny, and Harley, who are all three the co-founders of HealthBank DAO. And then we got good Clint over there. He's one of our awesome developers. And then we got Amin hidden in the corner. He's got his ear in. And then, of course, we've got Shawn. And Shawn is our test subject today. So let's just talk the format real quick. So Shawn, of course, will let you talk about your background. If you can kind of hit on a couple of your credentials for the solution that you're trying to create today, which I think you kind of already dug your toes into, but we'll go in a little bit more in depth. Then after that, let's talk about what problem you're trying to solve. Then after you give us your solution, we want to know kind of like the Web 3.0 and how you want to integrate that. So before we let Shawn loose, do any of you guys have anything else to say?
Yo, that was dope. But I have a question. Shawn, can you tell me your full name, please?
Shawn Patrick Chambers.
Dope. Felt
That's a
weird not
strong
knowing
name.
your last name. Yes. Perfect.
And on that note, Shawn, if you just want to give us a good background on yourself and kind of the process of what you went through, and then we'll go and start talking about what problem you're trying to solve.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Pretty much 36 years old. Live on the Gulf Coast in the Southeast. Very humid, beautiful weather. Pretty much went through high school, class favorite, won a couple of awards, was active in sports, stuff like that. Then I kind of got into the partying phase. Then I would say pretty much I took the ACT and scored one of the highest scores in the class. And so I pretty much got to go to almost any college I wanted to for free. Ended up picking a junior college, full paid scholarship. Went there, really wasn't even sure what I wanted to do, hardly even knew myself. So I actually was going for radiology, kind of wasn't passionate about that, really knew that wasn't the way. So changed up to business management and psychology, kind of went through all that. Then actually Hurricane Katrina hit, destroyed everything around us. We had to stop going to school because pretty much everything was destroyed. So I actually moved up to Arkansas with some family, kind of in the middle of nowhere, got to know myself, centerized, got away from everything, and then had job offers down here, came back down. So that's pretty much where I started. And I, was a regular dude in and out of jobs, was never happy with jobs, kind of always knew that I could do more. But, getting a job just kind of gave you a floor and a ceiling, and you had to act within that. And it was pretty much stagnant, for the most part in a lot of these jobs, working in casinos, stuff like that. So, that kind of, I would say, led to my downfall, just being unhappy with these jobs, knew I had this potential, but didn't know how to cultivate it, start it, manifest it, direct it, nothing. So I kind of got to a low point in my life, and, was asking for change. And literally a week after I put to the universe that I was wanting change, I was needing change, it was going to happen, I got hit by a drunk driver, literally lost my job, my house, my car, relationships, was pretty much bedridden for 9 months before they finally gave me the okay to get surgery. So that's pretty much my to the business world. And after losing everything, I was like, look, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to walk again. So I'm going to have to create my own business. I'm going to have to provide for myself, much less go work for these other jobs. If I don't even know if I could walk soon. So pretty much did that. I started healing myself with herbs and teas. They gave me bags of prescription drugs, and, going through high school, you kind of see people fall off on prescription drugs, and, I'm a type dude, I learn from everybody. I refused to eat any of these prescription drugs that they were giving me just because, they're not that great for you. They could mess you up spiritually, mentally, physically, all the way around. So kind of refused to do that. And I started using herbs and teas, changed my diet, started healing myself like that. Well, got really inspired and had a friend that owned a an Indian cuisine restaurant. So I always ate there, and I was telling them about it. And I was like, yeah, I'm thinking about creating a tea brand. And they were like, look, we got 2 stores. You get a product, we'll put it in our store. So I pretty much had 2 accounts before I even had a product, before I even had a business. And literally that's what strung me along. So as a lot of mentors say, is pretty much sell before you finish. You want to get these sales in, you want to get these contacts in. And that pretty much manifested it. I was laid up, bedridden, took out a pen and a pad. I sold my TV, didn't watch any of that, was pretty much plugged into self-betterment and improvement. Had notebooks full of notes, stuff like that. Created my tea brand product, started supplying retail stores. I would say I got it up to about 50 plus accounts across the Southeast, even a few up in Michigan I was trying to plug into, and was going from there. Took in other products, actually went to a business conference, an Alibaba business conference in Detroit, and met some really good connects, met a hemp company CEO from Denver. So then I took in some CBD products, expanded the distribution company, added more products. And yeah, started pushing the CBD oil, hemp products, stuff like that, and morphed it from a tea company into a wellness distribution company, to where I just wanted to engulf all wellness products and just help people in all realms that really wasn't quite known, to the masses. So, yeah, after that, everything was really had great growth. When the year that COVID hit, I actually was doing 6 figures in sales. And then ever since COVID hit, it's just been downhill from there. A lot of small businesses, a lot of my accounts going out of business, them shutting down the country. And I've yet to recover from that downfall. But yeah, definitely maintaining debt-free, pretty much still spreading the wellness. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at now. And yeah, it's been highly rewarding. I've actually owned a couple retail stores. I actually just sold one last year because, to me, my time is a lot more important than money. So definitely got that free time, looking to get into a lot of these crypto investments, this new ISO quantum economy that's coming up. So I've definitely been putting a lot of energy and effort into that, and definitely anxious to get into the Web3 realm and beyond.
That's awesome, Shawn. And I do want to commend you on having the strength to push those prescription drugs aside and going towards a more natural route. That's not easy to do. And, once you do it, I think you understand why others aren't doing it. And I think that's kind of was the spark of your fire right there. But I do kind of want to dig into these teas and these herbs that you're talking about. If you can kind of break those down and kind of explain what your formulas kind of are and what herbs that you're talking about.
Yeah, so pretty much all of our products is organic. I do not carry anything that is not organic. It kind of defeats the purpose of having non-organic herbs. I mean, it's just like everybody's trying to get into herbs and health themselves. You don't want pesticides and all kind of stuff on your product. So that's pretty much my niche with that. So pretty much anything from black teas, green teas, white tea, red tea, individual herbs like peppermint, lavender, hibiscus, dandelion leaf, roots, stuff like that, I started pushing out. So that's, it's one of my favorite quotes is, for every drug a doctor prescribes, there's a natural substance that can achieve the same effect. I came across that quote while being bedridden and making that transition. And that literally just, locked it in for me. Understanding that the prescription drugs may be easier in some aspects to take the edge off, but the more rewarding route is definitely the natural route.
Yes, sir. Wow.
Awesome. Go ahead, Johnny.
No, I'm just super impressed with this guy's passion, bro. I just had to say, you're the truth.
So I actually was putting together some herbal blends, but man, it's a science, it's an art. Like I literally had notebooks of different recipes, and just one too many could take it off. So I actually did a deal with an herbalist who's been in the game for like 40 plus years and is like a master artisan when it comes to these herbs and teas. So I literally did a deal with them and distribute their herbal blends while getting the single herbs, as just mentioned, the teas, the dandelions, peppermint leaf, chaga mushrooms, and beyond.
That's awesome. I do want to say, so it looks like it's not only a product, but I feel like you're also giving an education along with what you're trying to do here. So I do want to kind of ask the question of how do you plan on interpreting, or how do you plan on integrating Web3 into your ideas?
Well, what I'd like to do is actually shift from just wellness to also financial education. So if I could compound both of them in together, because both of those, wellness is a big problem in modern time, and also financial illiteracy. Those are two big problems. I mean, the one fact that I've seen is that people's money kind of dictates their diet. A lot of people don't eat healthy because they don't have a lot of money. So if I can combine these two avenues with, together, I think that that's going to be really rewarding, not only for me, but for all the people around me and those who wants to take part.
Hey, we always say health equals wealth. And if you're rich, you're not looking for more money, you're looking for more health. And if you're poor, you're looking for more money and less health.
Definitely.
So do you have like an actual plan on the education aspect of it? Like how would that look for you? Videos or whatnot?
Definitely still working out the plan. I've been putting together, I've always been wanting to do a DAO with the financial aspects. So definitely was wanting to put something together like that, but I'm definitely still learning all this stuff, getting with y'all, to kind of brain, kind of mind, and kind of figure out what could go down. So still in the beginning stages, being that this current climate that we're in now, selling tea in the South isn't, with people, if you ask people what kind of tea they drink in the South, I'd say 80% is sweet tea, and they don't even know what type of tea that is. You know what I'm saying? So it's not Oregon, so it's a lot more teas and stuff could, sell over there. So yeah, man, just trying to start getting it out. But ultimately, I would like to kind of just start a financial and wellness consultation company with a website, some videos, and possibly even an app.
Perfect. I love that. And I'm going to ask you one more question, but all you other guys, if you guys have a written question or two, we'll go ahead and ask y'all's questions right after my last one. So for you, Shawn, my last question is, what are your expectations from us right off of the bat? Like, what is it that you're looking for that you can get through the DAO?
Definitely what Johnny kind of touched in is just a group to kind of help all aspects to grow it, to network it, for ideas. Definitely still learning about how to form DAOs and stuff like that. So was wanting some help with that. And then also, just getting it out there, networking, want to be a part of the ecosystem that's being built. The HealthBank, getting paid to work out, I think is going to be revolutionary. And I definitely think I could add some aspects to some of the clients that come through that with my knowledge and wellness background. Now, I'm not an herbalist. I'm not a nutritionist, just somebody who's got their hands dirty, with experience and just doing.
That's so dope.
I love that. All right, gentlemen, who wants to go first?
I'll go first. That's super powerful story, Shawn. It's inspiring. And, You're a beast, man. My question is, I'm super into supplements and wellness, but I've never really looked into tea. Where would be a good place for someone to start? What would be a good starter tea for someone that wants to learn more?
Pretty much the simple basic science of tea. I mean, of tea and herbs, but more precisely herbs, is that each individual herb has a mineral profile. And mineral deficiencies are the cause of almost 98% of diseases out there. If you don't have your magnesium, your calcium, your zinc, your body's not going to work well. It starts leaching it from other organs, then other organs start to perform lower, and it could cause numerous problems, internal inflammation like that. So the simple science that I like to tell people is get your minerals, and each herb literally has its own mineral profile. So if you don't get your minerals, then you're not elevating, because as we get our minerals, the body works better. It increases the spin. The frequency could actually start increasing. And man, from my experience, it's literally all uphill once you start taking care of your health, for sure. So I would say start off simple. I know a lot of people don't like caffeines. All the black tea and green tea has caffeine. Those aren't my favorite, but they're definitely useful in many aspects. But I just love the herbs. One of my favorite herbs out there is the chaga mushroom. The chaga mushroom is just a beast in they call that the destroyer of weaknesses. So literally just always kind of know what you need, and then kind of search for the specific herbs that could actually help with those. Starting with the minerals. I think the minerals is definitely the most important aspect of health and wellness.
Beautiful.
I absolutely agree with that. The minerals.
Yeah, go on, man. Tell us some more about it, Tyler, because I know you know your stuff as well, and I would love to hear you guys share some ideas. I think the public would benefit. Amin and Clint and I are taking notes, and Harley, of course.
Yeah, I love what you said earlier about chaga. I'm a big, I really like chaga too. It has a lot of anti-cancer benefits as well. It's one of the mushrooms with the most historical benefits. They've been using it for a long time. So yeah, chaga, Shilajit.
Yes, Shilajit is probably my number 2. And that in and of itself can change somebody's life. And another thing about chaga is it has the highest antioxidant measurement like ever. I mean, it's literally ridiculous. Some of these benefits that just those 2 alone have. It's incredible.
It's amazing what just a few different things that you can put into your body can give it so much support.
Yes, definitely. And another thing that what I tell people, it's not so, if somebody comes to me, oh, I want to get better, and what healthy stuff do I need? It is what you need to put in, but a big part of what I tell people is it's not about what you put in, it's about what you take out. I can give you every supplement and everything, but if you're still eating Funyuns, Hot Pockets, and Mountain Dew every day, I mean, it's really not going to be the best choice for you. So a big part of what I tell people is change your diet, take out some of this stuff that's bad for you. Fasting is probably one of the most rewarding things on many levels, physically, mentally, and spiritually. Altering your diet, fasting, adding the minerals, and, making sure that you're alkaline, but also balanced with, the certain acids and stuff like that. And I really do think that is a proper base to literally take off for anybody.
I couldn't agree more, man. By the way, I'm still here, but I realized that my face is making a lot of expressions because I get excited when you guys talk. So I was just like, let me hop off of this thing, because really, Tyler, Harley, and Jeremy are running this thing, and I'm happy that Clint hopped on it. And like I said, the idea is let you guys share all of this knowledge, because as you mentioned, what you're bringing to the table here to fix mineral deficiencies is the priority and the responsibility of our generation. That's it. There's no more discussion. When we talk about this whole financial literacy, illiteracy, right? Because a lot of us are not thinking about being stable from both foundations at once. We think I must get this before I get that, and that's not cutting it. So your story comes in and says, look, man, cut through the bullshit, go get hurt, and then go ahead and rebuild yourself. And if you do that, maybe you'll find a little bit more discipline that finds also alignment, because it's not necessarily the direction, but it's about the passion that you have within the direction. And that's what I'm realizing, that you're so passionate about it because you really gave yourself the information that was missing to stimulate your own subconscious.
Definitely.
And that was the minerals.
Definitely. And it's kind of like the whole Phoenix story. You know, it's like I had to die before I could actually take off and kind of get into my own, you know, and as much as I grew from that, I still haven't felt that I've reached my final form yet. So every day I'm trying to push and keep it productive, because it's just like, I'm not giving in. We're not settling. You know what I'm saying? The way I tell myself, if, you know, stagnation equals death is pretty much how I look at it.
Yes, bro. Wow. And obviously, you're super ambitious, man. I want to make sure that the people know, obviously, what to look forward from you over the next few years. So I just wanted to ask, I guess, one question, because I know that you spoke on a lot of things, but where do you see yourself and your vision in 3 years?
3 years, I would say, you know, by 3 years, I would definitely have multiple dApps. Definitely up in the consultation companies, getting into wellness a lot more, you know, and as much as I've built my knowledge on wellness, that once, you know, we get into this new system, I shall have a lot more free time to actually start elevating my wellness knowledge from that point. So yeah, just kind of keeping it going from those. I'd like to have some more dApps. I got a few different ideas that I would like to tap into. Would also like to start a global real estate company. And two of my main goals long-term is I want to own a winery, and then I also want to own a resort somewhere in the world. So that's kind of like my two final taps right there. But other than that, man, looking to have more free time, travel the world, and just start spreading the vibes, start doing consultations more, helping out with HealthBank, spreading my financial and wellness consultation company, and, you know, just enjoying life. I'm a big believer in time, and, you know, literally building my company. I worked 3 jobs. I worked my company 5 days a week. I had a job Friday night, and then I had a job Saturday and Sunday. So I think it was like 4 years where I was working 7 days a week. You know what I'm saying? Piling up my investments. I have a nice pile of silver. I have some nice gold, and was just trying to just expand in all ways. And now I'm starting to reap the benefits of that, and definitely just wanting to flow more, dictate my time, and help as many people as I can.
So real, bro. Wow. I think that you set the standard for this podcast, if I could say that much.
Definitely set the bar high. It's amazing. You mentioned earlier about the story of the Phoenix. I think we all have that in us. We all have the potential to be the Phoenix, and you definitely embody it, and definitely a role model.
Without a doubt. And I'm excited to see, obviously, as we test the system, everybody will get a chance to go. Well, everybody that holds an OG VIP NFT will be able to go ahead and vote on this decision. And I have no doubt I know where this is going. So it's going to be really exciting to just be able to continue working together on this, because as you said, you know, this is and if I could be respectful of the time ahead of you guys' you know, schedules and stuff, we have about 40 minutes left. And so, you know, this is the time where really I wanted to let Jeremy get back to either any questions you might have. If not, like, there is a topic that I think it's in my mind right now because of what you brought up today, Shawn, and I just kind of wanted to let you guys kind of BS on this subject if nobody else has any ideas about what to talk about. Jeremy, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I just have one question, and it's kind of not just for Shawn, but kind of probably for the whole group as well, just because you guys have sparked my interest. So we keep talking about mineral deficiencies. How do we know which minerals that we are deficient at? Is this something that we would have to do blood work on, or are there physical traits that our bodies show or energies that our body shows to know that we're deficient in one mineral or another?
Well, I would say go ahead and pay attention to yourself, the symptoms, the signals your body's getting out. You know, magnesium deficiency, whether you really are deficient in magnesium or not, with that one, it's so powerful. I would take it no matter if I'm deficient or not. But, you know, everybody's kind of different. Some people could kind of be sore more. Some people have problems sleeping. Some people has dark circles under their eyes, which dark circles and internal inflammation is a sign of magnesium deficiencies. So I would say just kind of examine yourself, figure out what your problems are, kind of educate yourself on the minerals and what benefits that each one has, because they all, I mean, it's just absolutely amazing, and kind of just take it from there, because everybody's different. You know, we've, some of us has, you know, been in the backwoods and has worked their ass off every single day for a whole life. And you know, some people is had a lot more comfortable life, and you know, so everybody's a little different. But I would say examine yourself, kind of educate yourself a little on the basis of the most important minerals, and just kind of, you know, play around with them, and take it from there. Now, you know, I'd say 95% of Americans are nutrient deficient in at least one thing. At least one thing they're deficient on, whether it's calcium, you know, vitamins, minerals, you name it. Like all of our food is literally depleted from these nutrient and minerals. And our diets don't give us any. So I would say just kind of focus, see on yourself, and kind of take it from there, and or possibly just reach out to somebody who's, you know, kind of knows a little bit more, and, you know, kind of help out.
I love that you mentioned about the magnesium deficiency, because that's kind of the one that really started me to look into these different supplements, because that was the first one I started with, was magnesium. And as soon as I started, automatically, that was a depression, anxiety killer. That's better than any antidepressant you can get on the market. It'll automatically have you feeling 10 times better. So I'm like, okay, what other nutrients am I deficient in? From there, I started getting vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, started expanding from there into turmeric and different anti-inflammatory and antioxidants. Like, just from there, that's a really good starting point if you're looking, just starting with magnesium.
Yeah, magnesium is king. And that's a great point that you brought up. There's literal studies out there that saying that depression can be activated just by a lack of magnesium. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, some people get so engulfed with their depression, they're just like, oh, this is how it is. This is life. Oh, it's how I am. It's genetic. It could be as simple as a magnesium deficiency that could actually just kind of increase that spin and frequency and get you up to kind of a balanced, you know, balanced mindset. So it's, man, there's so many realms to health and wellness. It's just remarkable.
For sure. And
that's go ahead.
I know from my own experience, I was on antidepressants. They made me feel like a zombie. I had no drive. I didn't really care. It's like I didn't give a fuck about anything. I didn't have happy or sad. I was just there. It was nothing. And working in mental health with veterans, I saw that they couldn't get, when I was scheduling these veterans, I could get them in for pills in like 2 weeks. But if I wanted to get them to talk to someone like a therapist, it would take, and then I started looking into it. Why is that? It's because they want you to be zombies. You're easier to control whenever you're just like, I don't care. I don't give a fuck.
There's sorry, I'm seeing a lot of, it's getting cut off. Is anybody else seeing those audio issues?
Yeah, I did see a little pause.
Okay, don't mind me. I'm just going to interrupt, and I'm going to talk over him until he clears back up. You guys are hitting on so many things, and Jeremy, I really want to just leave you with a proper answer that maybe can give other listeners an idea of what to do in order to understand if they are lacking any of these minerals. And that's just using a pH strip at the moment that you wake up and peeing on it. It's that simple. You know, if you pee on it, it'll tell you if you're magnesium deficient or not. And then once you figure that out, then you take the necessary actions to redeem, obviously, all those minerals. And, you know,
you can actually pee on turmeric too. Because
Boom.
turmeric is like a natural pH testing. It changes color.
See, this is what I'm talking about, baby. You
Yeah,
bring in-
turmeric alone, actually, studies has shown that turmeric alone outperforms up to 19 prescription drugs when it comes to inflammation. Like,
Oh yeah, it's great stuff.
nature is a beast. You know what I mean? Like, it's just amazing.
and it
So-
all. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, man. I wanted to ask a question. What Tyler mentioned that you can pee on turmeric.
Mhm.
So what colors should you look at? Because I have a bag of turmeric in the cupboard.
He's
And I'm
about
gonna
to
test
go
it
at
out.
that work.
I'm gonna
That's
test
a
it
good
out.
question. I don't actually
What's the
pee on it,
difference?
so I don't remember it offhand.
Let's
you'd have to
research
Google
that. No, thank you.
Definitely
Oh,
have to Google it.
that's a hell of an alternative, bro. I wasn't expecting it, but you came out of left field with that answer. And I was just like, well, if this man's got a bag next to him, we better put him under control.
Let's see what happens. Let's see.
Yeah, test it
Good
out.
line.
Send it before and after.
Yeah, internal inflammation is actually a big problem. You know what I mean? So, and a
Well-
lot of that could just be mineral deficiencies as well. So, using turmeric every day, I mean, it can't hurt at all.
And then obviously these are just symptoms that I've picked up along the way, because we just want to leave the listeners with a bunch of knowledge and then actual things that they can participate in. Is to go take a look at your tongue. That's a really important tool that most people don't think about. Go take a look at your tongue and see if there's any colors or bumps or areas that don't really have, you know, the same surface areas. You know, what is it called? The phlegm, not necessarily the sticky white stuff in the back, will also let you know about candida. And learning all these Ayurvedic, you know, natural medicine practices that let you really, as you said, get to know yourself. Because if you look at what you're putting out, the pee or the poo, you know, if you look at the color of your poop, you get, sorry about the background. But if you get a lot of this, you know, information, you can take a look at your pee or your poop and acquire the right information to digest, to assess your own self. And then you take a look at your tongue or your eyes or your fingernails, right? Because the cuticles speak a lot about protein deficiencies and so on with these minerals. And so we start realizing that our body is actually speaking to us at all times. And if you have a rash, it's probably because you have an excess of metal in the body, right? Or you have allergies or bacteria that are not supposed to be in the lungs. And so when we start looking at how to properly clean up the body, there are these different phases of removing all of these different things from the body. And so being able to start here, Shawn, you're step one, podcast one for a reason. I do think that you are bringing the heat and all the answers that I think anybody could possibly have. And so I can't wait for individuals to be able to seek out more information from you, work with you in your consulting business. And obviously, I know the DAO members are really going to benefit from being able to have a friend like you around. And those participants of the 8-week challenge will be able to hopefully pick your brain a little bit more openly. And that's really the whole point of all of this, you know, to bring the smartest stories out into the public's, you know, conscious and public awareness, because these are smart approaches to fixing simple issues. And doctors want to go ahead and tell you, you got to use chemicals, and Shawn's telling you the truth. So it's one of those things where you've really blown my mind. I think the person that I look up to whenever it comes to the subject is Dr. Morley Robbins. He was in charge of a hospital and basically began the magnesium advocacy group. And so anybody who ever has any questions about, you know, what professional is actually speaking out about these type of magnesium deficiencies, the same level of, you know, our depth that Shawn is speaking on, Dr. Morley Robbins. And to me, he described what the Ferris wheel is all about, in the sense of what a metallic body can do in the sense of anemia and all of these issues that really play a big role with the lack of oxygen circulating through the body. And it all starts with the ATP having access to magnesium, which, my man, you hit on a bunch of times today. And really, to me, oxygenation is the initial process of ascension. And if you cannot oxygenate the body properly because there's too much metals in the body, then you're robbing the body from its potential output. Hence, you're rusting your body from the inside, which is causing all these chronic ailments that you're describing about inflammation. It's actually, you know, the rusting. It's the lack of oxygen and the excess of metals that are rusting your joints up. So when you're wondering why is magnesium important, or I got to go ahead and throw you in here, Tyler, your Ormus here that you've created yourself. That was the first step for me to say, I will never be magnesium deficient again. And so coming in contact with Tyler changed my life more than I could ever explain, because at that point, he told me he was living my dream. And that is the second, what you just mentioned, a winery. Come on. Who wouldn't want that in their backyard? Go get some wine. And it's funny because a lot of people don't realize that back in the day, the only way to get clean water before there was proper water cleansing systems was by fermentation of the grapes, right? Like sometimes you couldn't necessarily get clean, potable water that you could drink. It was actually going to get you sick and give you, bubble guts. And so if you didn't drink wine, you weren't really drinking a proper type of fluid that could actually let you get by. So wine is massive in so many ways because the fermentation process is what goes on in the gut.
Yes.
That's another big thing is clean water. That's another thing that a lot of people overlook. A lot of people are drinking this tap water that has fluoride, has chlorine, it has a whole bunch of chemicals that are horrible for your body.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, for anybody out there watching, just some basic knowledge that you can get started with today is, kind of start taking your, stuff out of your diet and cleanse your diet. You know what I mean? Start fasting a little bit, start doing breathing exercises, increase your water intake, and actually take supplements like zeolite to start flushing these metals out of your body, because you can't fully power up with your energetic if you have all these disruptive metals all in your body stacked up, stopping the flow of stuff. So pretty much that's some basic simple stuff that anybody could start at any time and will pay dividends in the long term with great consistency.
Dropping that financial gems in there, man. Let's go. That's so real. That's so real though. Obviously, Clint, does that give you a better idea how to go ahead? And same thing, Jeremy, if you guys were curious about instead of peeing on turmeric, what you could do. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I got the pH strip.
Not that I don't want to try it, by the way.
I'm just gonna try because I have it. So
I think that'll be the next.
Zero light as well. So thank you, man. Thanks.
Yeah, usually a simple way that I use turmeric is I put it on almost everything I eat. Whether if it's turmeric pasta, I love some pizza. I'll douse my pizza in turmeric powder, try to incorporate it in almost everything that is doable, so yeah, that's a big thing. And after that, I would say just, get the whole roots, and you could just drink turmeric tea all the time. That is a great way as well. The water can kind of get in there and take some stuff out, and it's a lot easier for the body to digest it coming from that angle.
Yeah, thanks, man.
That's huge, guys. I'm so happy that we were able to get this type of information out to the public, because when everybody starts their weight loss journey, whether it's 8-week challenge or whether it's a 90-day challenge or just a 1-day challenge, they should have some kind of clarity as to kind of how to keep themselves in the game. And a lot of people don't have these kind of structures that say, hey, I won the day. And to me, that's really it, right? Because, life is a video game. And if you're able to go ahead and really determine what are these, you set your own level up parameters. And I think people forget that, right? Because you're waiting for somebody to set them for you. And it's like, no. If you take a piece of paper and you write down, I'm going to do 50 push-ups today, that's a level up checkbox. If you level up by checking it off, that's it. Who's going to fight you? It's what you said to yourself. And most people don't do that. So together, I think we've given the public a great checklist. Hey, start here, magnesium. Hey, go take a look at zeolite, and then go take a look at turmeric, and then go get some shilajit, and then go get some ormus. If you can start with those 5 things, I think, and a bunch of water.
And breathing.
Ooh.
Yeah, don't forget to breathe.
The breath, I remember years ago, I would catch myself not breathing for a long period of time, and I would just try to consciously cancel that out to where, to eliminate that. But not only that, but mouth breathing isn't well for you. You need to close your mouth. You need to put that tongue up on the roof of the.
I was just thinking. Yes.
get that jaw, get everything flowing and going. And I mean, you know, like I said before, as important as it is to incorporate these things, it's just as important to subtract the bad stuff that's in your diet, that it is disrupting your life and stuff like that. So both of those two parts, if you put them together, you have that balance, and man, that just, you can take off from there.
Bruh, I want to give you a hug for dropping that piece of knowledge in there. And I don't know if you guys caught it. He just said, you must put your tongue on the top of the roof of the mouth when you breathe. That action in itself makes you connect to your higher self by being able to create a utility with the tongue at rest. People don't realize these things, but it is a simple trigger to really force the brain to actually engage a different part of awareness. And people forget your tongue is a muscle that should always be used, not to speak, but to breathe.
Exactly.
That was so fucking dope, bro. And I can't teach people that one too soon because it's kind of like it flies over their head. But with you dropping, I'm just like, yo, we got to reinforce that shit. Like, that was dope.
So yeah, just a great small conscious effort of eliminating breath through the mouth and in through the nose is just like a daily challenge that you can battle yourself with all the time. Because, you know, I'll go to the gym and I see all these people that's just breathing through their mouth the whole time. And it kind of reminds me like, all right, gets me in that conscious thought, you know. So I've definitely been pretty much doing that. It's pretty much subconscious now once you start doing it a lot. So very important. I mean, the body is one of the most greatest miraculous things, probably the greatest thing in the universe. There's nothing like it. I mean, just the study of the art of the body is just miraculous. I mean, it's just amazing. Yeah, we can sit here for 12 to 24 hours dropping stuff just about the body alone. Literally, constantly. There's so many tips, tricks, hacks, biohacks, you know, mentally, physically, spiritually, just in all these realms. And it's just amazing.
We're essentially quantum computers. And Johnny said it earlier, life is a video game. If you listen to this, if you get the knowledge, you got the cheat codes. After that, it gets easy. It's only hard if you make it hard. Another thing I've been implementing lately is the CMOS gel. Yep. That thing is amazing. You get 92 out of the 102 minerals your body needs, and mucus is gone. I don't have any mucus anymore. It's a blessing.
Yeah, and as Dr. Sebi always said, he said one of his theories is that the mucus alone is one of the main causing of diseases. So, you know, getting that CMOS, eliminating that mucus, that excess acidity in spots that it's not supposed to be. I mean, all of these things are very, very beneficial. And y'all know, as the current state of our rulers, they like to debase people. It's harder to control elevated, balanced, healthy, evolved people than it is to control debased, unhealthy people.
They can't stop us. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, man, what you just said nailed it right there on the head, that this is the whole point, man. This is the path of ascension, and we're giving it to them in the cleanest version possible. Obviously, we got to go ahead and translate to different languages. But this is something where what you just said, literally, by removing the acidity, is to increase the electrical output. And essentially that's all we're trying to do. Obviously create electric beings, lighthouses, you know, Tesla towers. You can use whatever topic you want to go ahead and use to name it. But essentially all of us here are resonating at the same frequency, which allows us to manifest as co-creators. This is the power of this organization. People need to understand it. It's not me, it's not you, it's all of us as one, because we are on the same wavelength. And I have no fear because you guys share the same vision for the future. And I just know that we're supposed to engage and it'll happen. But this is the thing where most people forget, is that, as you mentioned in the very beginning, Shawn, it's something that you got to do daily. And if there isn't something that allows you to remind that inner deepest part of you that it has to be thought about, then that's where you lose the day. So I wanted to ask each one of you guys individually. Shawn, if we could start with you, what reminds you of that every single day? Like, what do you have around you? You know, what is that one thing that when the moment you wake up, it always brings you back to gratitude?
I would say one of the first thoughts that I have rolling out of bed is the fact that it's 90% of the time I think of my spine. I'm like, if I get out this bed today, is the spine going to hurt? Oh, it's not. Hell yeah, let's roll. Let's go. So just, you know, whether, you know, it's hurting or not, that thought's still always there. And it's just, you know, that's kind of how I base my day is, you know, I'm not in pain anymore, getting healthy and just trying to evolve every day. So I would say subconsciously, the mind always goes back to that. And just the fact that, you know, literally going through that for 9 months, it kind of almost feels that I was a prisoner of war and I was getting tortured, you know, just because I wasn't able to do nothing. I was trapped. I was excruciating pain daily. And then I just kind of used that to cultivate that frequency and that feeling of gratitude. And that is a very, very powerful feeling and emotion that literally increases the vibration there alone. I mean, if you wake up and you're ungrateful, that's just going to put you on that down vibe, you know what I mean? Because it's how can I say it? It is the mindset of lack, you know, oh, well, I don't have this. It's just like, I'm grateful. I got enough. I got all I need. I'm not in pain today. I'm about to go take over the world.
Facts. That's so real, man. What's up, Clint? You got something like that? What makes you grateful every morning, bro? So that we can at least give everybody a chance to share some thoughts.
Yeah, most certainly. To be honest, I'm grateful for God and for breathing every day, waking up and breathing every day. Because I mean, the stuff that happens here in South Africa, it's crazy. People's dying left, right, and center. Never mind COVID. I mean, that's, you know, because we have like kidnappings, murders, rape. It's gang violence. It's everywhere. And I'm just grateful that my family's alive. I'm alive and I can, you know, be the priest of my household and, you know, lift them up. And I can also resonate with Shawn, like, you know, like losing everything and then, you know, building yourself back up. It takes a different type of mindset to be able to endure that, what you've went through, and to really pick yourself up. And I think Harley said it also, like the phoenix, like you're rising up. And I feel like this is what this group is all about. And the shift that we're basically in right now, you can see this, that there's a shift coming, you can feel it. And, you know, even with this, if you see the shift with the new carbon footprint that's coming out, I think that this business that you're trying to bring out, Shawn, it's part of that. It's a different type of shift. It's a more natural shift. And I think a lot of people's going to be able to see that. They're going to resonate with that. And they're going to want to follow that. I mean, there is a lot of natural products out there and people pushing it. But I think once the shift happens, the floodgates is going to open up. So I think you're on the right path, man.
Yes, very much so. Obviously, I mean, if I can get you to jump in and hit us with some sauce, that'd be great. If not, what's up, Tyler? You want to go?
Yeah, dude. I'd say my kids and my wife, definitely, like they are like the center of basically everything I do. And I would probably have never have had to actually even get into crypto if it wasn't for having to keep them basically alive. Like I was like working construction, and then construction stopped because of the bloated, and then I got ripped off on a job when I was working anyway. Like I worked, and so like I was just broke and got into crypto because it was like right before Christmas. And like if it was just me working, I would have just been like, I'm just gonna keep doing my thing. I don't have any bills. But yes, and like so initially it was like, you know, definitely my kids, like totally. And then everything like I mean, like I've always wanted to help people, but like I'm still like, I think without them I probably wouldn't have done it as hard. I probably would have just kind of just been like comfortable instead of just like what I'm actually uncomfortable now, which is great.
I love you saying that. The fact that you said that, it just speaks volumes, because I know what you mean by that internally, but you saying it, it's a place where all of us are at right now, where change has to happen. And this pain is a force of transmutation that allows us to do it not alone anymore, but together. And I hope you guys realize that. Like, whatever you guys need, you got me and you got your boys next to you that you see here on these screens. And I promise you that they'll be there. But it is a powerful change, bro. And I got to say, man, you are a leading force in all of this, because I can only imagine the amount of stress you're going through each day to not only be accountable to the promises, but more importantly to the artwork, and more importantly to the fresh authenticity of the craftsmanship, because you really are hitting it with something so original that it just makes it so beautiful to witness.
It's a lot of fun too. I'm actually doing a custom one for somebody right now.
Well, don't forget to smile big.
I know.
I know it's heavy. It's heavy, man. But you know what, bro? Every time I see one of your NFTs go out there, man, I smile, because I just think about how much love you put into each one, with the ultimate purpose of achieving a team goal that many said it can't be done. And it's like, yo, we are knocking on that door, and they don't even understand what's coming next.
That's the thing. No one's even given us any FUD. Actually, we've had one FUD. It was really funny. Some guy's like, did you know this is the year of the tiger and you have monkeys in your name? And I was like, oh no. Well, guess what? I think we are the monkeys. And plus, tigers don't go in salt water anyway, so they're sea monkeys.
It's the enemy year.
The only monkey
I was born in a monkey
tiger.
year, so this is supposed to be a bad year for me, but it's been an amazing year so far. So I'm gonna keep on riding it.
That's so real. I love it. No, you guys are right. And you know, the real reason I asked that question is, like, every single one of you guys inspires me. So I just kind of asked, is like, well, how do you get up every day and keep that energy going? You know, because for me, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna wake up. I already know I can't cough without being in pain. For some reason, you know, that deformity in my spine doesn't let it go away. So when you're saying I wake up praying to not be in pain, I'm like, yo, I wish I had that. I know it's gonna happen. So as soon as I get up, bro, I'm doing booty workouts. If I can keep it 100 with you, I'm doing booty workouts while I'm listening to some powerful motivation. And it just reminds me to be grateful, because if I can work out my glutes, I can keep my spine strong. And a lot of people don't realize that the glutes are the strength of the spine. And as men, if our glutes aren't strong, then we have a big gap in our skeletal structure. And so for me, like, you know, doing single leg hip lifts and doing 2 to 3 minutes of just squeezing my hips as high as possible while laying on the floor, this makes it so that I am initializing my day with an activation of the glutes. And then immediately I go on to about 20 minutes of biking or incline walking, where I listen to a lot of information that allows me to set my state for the day. And in motion, I get to choose my life for the day, right? So I get to choose my to-do list and all these things. And in that information that I listen to, all these things that you guys are speaking of are coming at me, you know, whether it's what kind of kids would I want to have, and what kind of experiences would I want to share with those kids, and what kind of father would I be? Because now I get these fathers in front of me, like Jeremy, Amin, obviously Clint is a great father, and Tyler, I mean, you're leading the way. And, you know, this stuff, hopefully, Shawn, you see it the same way as me, where it's like fatherhood is a school that I'm not yet very well prepared for, but I hope to be by surrounding myself by mentors that currently have, you know. And it's a school that some people get thrown into faster than others, because it does start the next learning process of every man. But if before we have those kids, we can come to recognize how much help we're going to need from the collective and our communities, then maybe we would become better men sooner, instead of only when there is this amount of load or responsibility on our shoulders. And that's really what I hope to be able to get across to the public, that it's like, if you come to realize your divinity sooner, or your, you know, your sovereignty, you're free to do whatever you want. Like you guys said, it's just, you got to come to it sooner instead of the pain. Don't let the pain make you come to realize it, come to it sooner. And then obviously surround yourself with people of integrity. And how do you measure integrity? Can you have conversations about health with individuals like, yo, they at least research how to fix their colon, or yo, they at least research how to get rid of their headaches, right? Or they at least research how to get rid of tummy aches. Because if somebody doesn't do the research, it immediately lets you know that these people don't invest in cultivating their own personal spirit. And to me, that is the determining factor of how I choose who to surround myself with or who I choose to invest my time engaging with. And all of you gentlemen, and even the women that will be joining us soon, are of this type of class of individuals where, you know, they make the priority serving, they make the priority educating themselves, and they make the priority being grateful so that they can be their best selves, just like you guys. And so you guys blow me away when I think about the power of what it is that what we're building. So I have no doubt, like I said, I know where everybody's going to vote on Mr. T's decisions here, or his vote. But Jeremy, you still around, man? Sorry, I started talking too much. Somebody shut up.
No, you're good. You're good. I mean, there's nothing but great knowledge being passed around. It's hard to say stop.
No, you guys are inspiring me, seriously. This is such a cool podcast. I hope everybody's been able to enjoy themselves as much as I have.
Definitely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, time's flying by. It's
Is there anything on you guys' mind that maybe we need to cover before we get off?
I just kind of want to kind of piggyback off what you just said. That is kind of part of my routine in the morning. I actually wake up, drink some tea, do some breathing exercises, kind of get my mind right. Then I head to the gym and shoot, I think I walk. I don't run. I walk on the treadmill for about 20 to 30 minutes just to get my spine aligned. I mean, dealing with spinal injury, I mean, shoot, crooked. I mean, it's hard to work out once your stuff's all kind of, you can't really get that push and that force. So yeah, definitely wake up, have a routine in the morning, do you a little breathing, little meditation, get you a cup of tea, get you some fruit, and do whatever you got to, do to make yourself in a better position and actually take control of the day. And I think that, everybody's different. So we just got to find what we can do to give us that launch pad and that foundation to where we can grow every day. Because a lot of people, I'm sure, is like I was years ago, wasn't sure what to do, wasn't sure how to act, wasn't sure, what to get. But us building this ecosystem, I think that it's going to actually not only help people, but the fact that we can be hands-on with people as well. I think, once we could actually, as a collective, start evolving, the whole world will change rapidly. And I think we're on the beginning stages of that. And I think it's very important, as Clint just said, that we can kind of feel that this shift is coming. There's a natural shift coming on many levels. On the physical level, the spiritual level, and on the mental levels. Everything's elevating, and there are forces trying to put that out, but you can't nothing can stop what is coming.
That is the statement right there. Nothing can stop what is coming, bro. That was fire, man. I think we should close on that statement because that is the realest thing that's happening right now.
Totally dig it.
Jeremy, you got some thoughts for us? Because I know that you kind of have a big awareness of kind of like the dates that's coming up. Obviously, the way that you get us in and out of these situations is great, and I appreciate that. You want to take over?
Yeah, for sure. Let's just finish up on some closing statements. So first of all, I do want to say thank you, Shawn, for joining us. I think you inspired a lot of us. Plus, hopefully we can inspire you as well. And maybe we can work as a really good team to cooperate and kind of get this knowledge that we just talked about on a more physical platform, paper, so people can have this kind of knowledge and we can spread it to the world. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's about, is helping people have their death and life experience without having to actually break their spine or having to actually go through the traumas that they've gone through. So if anybody wants to throw a couple of ending statements, let's just close it on out.
Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and let you know a little bit more, Shawn, about the process going forward so that maybe others can go ahead and get to know a little bit more about, now that you've finished up with us, and obviously because we do have a pretty good idea of where the team is going to go out with, we're just going to let everybody know that from here, you're going to go ahead and catch up with Lucas and yourself, Lucas and I. We're going to get Jeremy in there as well so that we can get whatever needs you may have. Whether that's software as a service needs that you may have, or team member needs, or advertising needs that you may have. We are going to start here as you do us a favor and continue to put your business plan together for this possible DApp that you wish to begin your entire project with. And by the DApp, I really mean, well, how do you plan on leveraging NFT metadata to provide your users with a one-of-a-kind experience that will allow you to identify them and also help them ascend, whether that's in different roles, different DeFi protocols, or at the same time, just different reward systems that maybe you have or incentives that maybe you have for your own DApp. But yeah, that's kind of what's going to happen next. We're going to go ahead and schedule something with Lucas, Jeremy, and myself. I'll share everything that goes down with Tyler and Harley so that way they can bring in their network or support if needed. And then once that is done, we will hopefully chat again within the next month. And then at that point, when the team votes yes or no on that one, if yes, Clint, you and I will sit down and we will begin to build starting month 2. But does that kind of give you a better idea of maybe what to expect in the road ahead?
Definitely looking forward to it. Definitely grateful to be a part of this podcast and potentially this organization. All of us is some very strong-minded people that is, putting out instead of taking in. And, that's part of the part of change in the world. I've kind of always been a character to where, I'll stand in my square, whether it's by myself against the world or with a group of people. But once we all come together, I mean, it only elevates each one of us. And, the chances of success, increases dramatically. So definitely looking forward to it. It's been a passion of mine to try to help people around me. Being that these past few years, most people don't want help because they don't believe they need help. And that's kind of depends on the person's journey in life, where they're at. We could all benefit and improve ourselves from everybody else. I've always been under the mindset of I learn from everybody. Everybody's my teacher, whether they know it or not. So yeah, definitely grateful for this opportunity. Looking to continue pushing forward, and definitely will speed up the blueprint and building on my aspect. And then we could come together, collide, and let's create some sparks and, start building, because I really believe and think that HealthBank DAO, what is going on, matching with the ecosystem being built out, I think it's going to be an epic, unstoppable force for the world.
Boom.
Thank you, bro. It means so much because these guys have put in so much to make it happen, whether it's from the merch side, being able to go ahead and guarantee that any design needs are met by a Plum portal, and more importantly, anything to do with crowdfunding needs. Obviously, our specialist here, Tyler, has been going to work every single day to be able to guarantee that all of this could be a successful venture. And just to kind of give you final clarity about how your business, which is really the wellness company that you're creating here, can hopefully have an immediate extra, traffic line, is that one of the things that we've created, and I know that I'm going a little bit over time, guys, and I apologize, but imagine when people finish their 8-week challenge and they happen to achieve 100% completion. These people are very much an elite group of individuals who I believe would be the perfect representatives for any business or brand to have them as ambassadors to represent their product or sell their products. Somebody who basically goes through the HealthBank DAO 8-week challenge and achieves 100% of the challenge should be able to then get a message from a brand or a business that's involved in the DAO and say, hey, look, I saw that you committed. I see that you mean what you're talking about. Let me go ahead and give you some support. Whether it's a VIP code where basically they can get a kickback for distribution or sales, whatever it may be. I think it's just nice to be able to know that this health challenge doesn't just require you to earn profits. It requires you to prove your integrity to the world, because when people invest in you, it's because they love the integrity of who you are, and that you're a person of your word, and so I think that's by succeeding with 100% and hopefully getting a brand like yours, a business like yours, to be able to say, hey, look, that person right there did 100%. I would go ahead and send them maybe like a box of teas, And if that could be something like that, where they can just rep your brand and have a code, that could be a good way for us to be able to provide substantial value to brands, to cut marketing costs, and to connect you guys with very, very powerful influencers who maybe are so ambitious about making a change in their life that they also want to go ahead and make extra lines of income by distributing your products,
Definitely. Yeah, this is my brand right here, Restorative Nature. We have several products. The website, I actually took it down because Wix wouldn't allow me to resell CBD oil. So kind of regain plan and reformatting and going to rebuild that. But yeah, we'll definitely have more information on our product soon. And yeah, definitely looking forward to getting involved.
That might be something that we could solve by building up your website from scratch.
Cool.
Right, Clint?
I built it on Wix, but like I said, they literally wouldn't allow me to sell CBD, which is half my company's product. So
we don't accept that bullshit. So I think Clint and I are going to work with you to code it from scratch, implement some Web3 interoperability, and introduce some purchasing agreements on Web3, if that's to be the case.
Let's do it. Sounds good.
It'll just take a little bit of time because we got to walk through these basics, but Clint, I think you see the road ahead.
I see it, yes, and I'm actually getting excited for it. So,
yeah. So I always say with the quote of anything I'm getting involved with, you can't rush greatness. So
facts. That's how you fucking end this show. Pardon my French, by the way. Guys, thank you so much. Jeremy, can you leave us with your professionalism? Lead the way out, please.
Yes, thank you all guys for joining in. It was a beautiful, beautiful conversation. And like I said, this was our #1 podcast. I look forward to #2, #3, and #100. And I'm very, very curious on the beautiful ideas that we come across. And I hope that we can, start changing the world one business at a time, because that's what we're here for. It's for the people, and we're investing in the people. We're pushing money aside. We're pushing investments aside. It's about us investing into each other. And as a team, working together, that's how we win. All right, thank you guys. We'll see you guys on the next podcast. Have a good day.